So let's add the user data to the dashboard as well. We're going to repeat the same steps back on our tabs dashboard. Use the prop decorator to create the user property here. So Firebase.user. And then we can go to our router and add that property as well. But here's the different one. We have children route. We have the tabs root route, and inside we have these little routes. So as I mentioned, the documentation is not up to date on this one. But to send the data, we should put the component prop on the inner route, so we can grab from inside. Here on the outer route, it won't work. So now we can test it. Let's first go back to our dashboard and display some data over here. Same. Let's create an array of data there. Ion content. And here I'm going to use an Ion item to display an avatar on the left and the name on the right. So Ion item. Inside you're gonna have an Ion avatar, and this holds a image tag, and then just the Ion label. Inside I'm gonna put an H2 for the username and the email as well. So now for the photo URL, you can just use the this.user.photo URL. Same goes for the out, should be the username. And we probably gonna have an error here, and I mentioned before that you need to make a plan to see the data before. So we have it in there, but the photo URL is not loaded. One, because we do not have a photo URL. For this user, photo URL is null. And we also not testing for the case the data is not there yet. So now here it's a bit different because you're using not just a string. So we're gonna do we first do the test like this.user is there, and then we have the first case and second case. So in the first case we're gonna put this Ion item, and for the second case, let's first do undefined so we can test. So we have our question, our answer, and our fallback over here. So there you go. Now I have my user in there. Let's just add some margin here on the side because looks like it's missing. So on the dashboard, I'm going to add Ion avatar. And here you can just do a padding right 16 pixel. Not padding, margin. There you go. We can also remove these lines over here with some helper properties from the item with lines. You can do inset, full, and none. It's going to remove it. And you can also add detail. Detail is going to do a carat on the side. So we just need to, is a boolean, so we need to add true. And we'll add a character like mentioning like you can go to this link or whatever. So later we're gonna do a link over here to go to the user update. We can also add a margin to the top, so it has a little bit of breathing area over there. There. Now that the user is logged in, let's create some router redirects. Here in our code, let's go to the app, and just inside our router to the bottom, I'm gonna add some simple redirects. Now it's simple. Later we're gonna do based on the user role or something like this. So we do a check if this is .user. We can use the ion route redirect. And this takes two options, a from and to. So let's say we want the user, if he's logged in, if he's already logged in, we want to move them from auth to the home page. Now, if the user is not there, we just cancel this check. Now let's go ahead and add the logout button, and we're going to do that in our... First, let's check this if it worked. I'm here and I have my user, so if I go to auth, it redirects me to home. Auth, there you go. So this is how you do app redirects. Now let's go and add our logout button, and we can do that on the sideboard in here. Let's put it here on the bottom for now. App menu. All the way here. After the IO content, let's add ion footer. And the ion footer is going to stick to the bottom of the page. We have the ion red header that will stay at the top, footer, the bottom, and the content will take all the remaining space. Ion footer, we can do a button. Logout. So here let's call the auth service and do the logout. Auth service from one up, one more up, services, auth service. And on click, we want it to go auth service, and here we're gonna do a logout function. So let's go there and do a logout function first. So in our service, auth service, it's gonna add in here at the bottom, so public logout, and this will return the auth sign out. That's it. So here on the app, we can just call that function logout. Now let's do a check and just show this logout if there is a user, because that would be a bit ugly if there is a logout button and there is no user. So here's our button. I'm just stretch it out all the way there with the expand full that we used before. Here, expand full, and let's do that check. So, but before we do that, we need to pass the user to this page. So back in our application, here's our app menu. So here we're not going to use components prop, because this is a property of the ion route. We're going to create our own. Here the components prop is expecting an object, because it could be anything. It's a kind of generic. But for us, we're going to expect a user. So the user will be this.user. Now we need to create this app menu, the user property on the app menu. I'm just gonna save here and up there. I'm gonna use the prop decorator and add it to the app menu component. So Firebase user. Okay, you see the difference, because we could expect anything here. If you create a prop that will expect an object, you would need to pass an object in here. The same way, this one, it was the component props that expects an object. So, ion router attributes, component prop, could be anything. Now we can do that check. So let's go remove the buttons, this.user. If the user is there, we do this. If not, we don't show anything. So if the user is there, we show the button. If not, just leave it out. Now we can go to our app. It's being expanded to take it all. Here's our user. We just reload here. Logout. Now if I refresh, my user is not there anymore, so we successfully log out. And now here we are doing the console log for the user, and now the user is new. So that is how we can do a logout. Our button disappear, and if you log back in, it will appear. So in the next lesson, let's take a look at something. Now you're having this authentication page over here. So let's do a modal that will open, and we can do the login there instead of doing it in a URL.